My name is Benedict Garrett. You may know me from Big Brother 13, and this is Entertainment Focus.
How are you, Benedict?
I'm very well, thank you. It's been a bit of a busy day, but I'm coping.
And what have you been doing? You've been rehearsing for your new play?
Yes, been rehearsing for now into week 2 of rehearsals for a new comedy play that I'm going to be in, and we've only got just a week left now actually. So it's flown by rather quickly.
So tell us a bit about the show. It's called Up From Meat. What's it about?
Right, it's called Up From Meat, and it's about 4 gay men who live in a flat, and 1 female who's a friend of them all. And really it's about online dating within the gay world. It's a comedy, and it's known as a naked comedy because most of the actors do get a bit naked at some point, and my character is a naturist, so he spends much of the time naked.
Is that intimidating?
For me, or for the audience? I don't know. Well, no, because I'm used to doing stuff naked, but the weird thing with this performance is I can't get too aroused in any way.
Is that a challenge?
Yeah, I suppose. Although hopefully the nerves will keep it down.
So tell us, how did the show come about?
Well, when I came out of the Big Brother house, a friend of mine, whose friend is a casting director, had mentioned to her that they were looking for a guy to play this role. And my friend said, "Oh my goodness, Benedict, who's currently in the Big Brother house, would be ideal, but he's in the house at the moment, but he'll be perfect for it." And so when I came out, the timing couldn't have been better really, because the auditions were a few days afterwards. So then I went along and I got the role.
And it's not your first acting role, is it? You're in a British film that's coming out.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I always did acting when I was younger. I did some professional stuff. I did a professional production of The Sound of Music when I was 14. I did some voiceovers, and I've done some musical theatre over the last few years as well. But yeah, this year, on October the 5th, there's a British rom-com being released called The Knot. It's Noel Clarke's first rom-com, because he's done all sorts of different films before. And it's also got Mina Savarian, who is in American Beauty, Matthew McNulty, and obviously Noel Clarke's in it as well. And yes, it's out on October the 5th, and surprise, surprise, I play a stripper. Not that I'm being typecast at all, but I do have my clothes on in a few of the scenes. So I'm in about 5 or 6 of the scenes.
Does it feel unusual to have your clothes on?
No, because as I say, I've done acting in the past, and I usually wear my clothes. It's only in certain parts of my life where they come off a lot more.
So let's talk a bit about Big Brother. Obviously that's brought you to the attention of the nation.
Yeah.
What's it been like since you've been out of the house?
Well, I guess life hasn't been so different for me, except I probably get recognised a bit more now. You know, usually I have people come up to me almost every day saying, "Oh, it's Benedict," or he'll get people giggling and mentioning your name. But because I already had some exposure before, because I've been in the papers before about me being a teacher and doing what I do, so I was probably far more prepared to come out of the house for that sort of thing than most of the people who went into the house, having had none of that beforehand. So for me, it's just been back to normality, really.
And were you disappointed to go out quite early on?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously I would have liked to have won. You know, I could have done with £100,000, or it turned out to be £50,000 in the end. But I wasn't disappointed to have gone out against Lauren, because I was pleased that Lauren stayed, and I think she probably learned more from the experience and became a more rounded person than I would have done. And I was quite pleased to be away from certain people in that house who were beginning to grate on me, and I kind of got in there and kind of used it as how I wanted to use it, and used it as a platform that I kind of wanted to use for certain things. So no, I think 3 weeks is long enough to be able to have a good experience of it, and to really feel what it's like to be in the house. So it's been fine for me, and also then it meant I could go a bit on the side quite a few times, which I did, and I enjoyed that actually probably far more than being in the house.
And what made you want to apply for Big Brother in the first place?
You're assuming that I applied. I didn't apply. I was contacted by the producers because about a year or so beforehand, I had been contacted by a producer for Big Brother about going on Celebrity Big Brother, not as a housemate, but as somebody in a task. I don't know what the task was doing exactly, but I was going to be walking around in swimwear. And then they kept pushing that back, and then it didn't happen. And then about 6-7 months ago, however long ago it was, I got an email in my inbox and it said, "Thank you for applying for Big Brother." And I thought, hang on, I've never applied for Big Brother, I've never applied for any reality TV show. And I thought maybe my foster son had done it for a joke, one of my ex-pupils or something. And then about half an hour later, I got a message from the same producer who contacted me before saying, "We've put you forward, we would really like you to consider coming and going through some of the audition process because we think you'd make a brilliant housemate." So I did, and then I ended up on the show.
Obviously, since you come out,
Yes.
you're on Twitter, you tweet a lot, seen quite a lot of quite horrible stuff directed your way. What's that been like?
Well, I think that's what happens when you have an opinion. Really, you have to expect that if you have an opinion, some people are going to agree with you, and some people are going to disagree with you. And most of it's come from one particular town, actually, called well, it's a town in Northern Ireland called Derry. And there's some lovely people in Derry, but like any town, you have some less nice people. And the reason why it's come from there is I was very critical of one of the housemates, Connor, and his actions, and in fact I was a bit more critical of the way the Big Brother production team handled what he said, and I think he should have been taken out of the house, bearing in mind that things had been said in previous series that were far less serious, I would argue, and they'd been taken out, and he was allowed to remain in the house, basically threatening violence against a woman and threatening rape against a woman. Whether he was going to act on it or not was irrelevant. It's still words that he said, and I think he should have been taken out. I didn't say he should be hung, drawn and quartered for it. I don't think he should go to prison for it, but he was on a game show and there are rules, and I don't think he should have been in there with the possibility of winning money. Turns out he did win money in the end, but almost that was an irrelevance, and I don't blame him for pressing the button. That's, you know, I probably would have done the same thing, but he shouldn't have been in that house. I stand by my comments that what he said is absolutely disgusting, and having said those things, me saying that on Twitter, I had a lot of abuse from a lot of people, large percentage of them from Derry, not only they were from other places as well, saying they'd like to kill me, they'd like to hurt me, or just nasty comments about me being a paedophile, me being this and that, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I just block them most of the time, and I often retweet the worst ones just to embarrass them.
It's just so unnecessary, isn't it?
Oh, it's totally unnecessary.
Well,
but that's
to be on a show and have an opinion, as you say.
Well, exactly. And do you know what? Nobody's ever come up to me and said any of this to my face. It's the ease of the internet, isn't it? People can just say things anonymously and insult you as much as they want, and just sort of get away with it. Really.
Does that ever bother you?
No, not really. I mean, for the last couple of years, I've been a controversial character. I went in the house, you know, even if I didn't open my mouth, simply people knowing what I do for a living is a controversial thing. So I knew that some people were going to love me, some people were going to hate me. That's just the nature. And in a way, I think I'd rather go through life being a character like that than somebody who just goes through life, you know, not having any strong opinions either way.
So what's your plan now? Obviously, you're out of the house, you've got the play. What can you see beyond that in terms of your career?
Well, my manager and I were sort of looking at perhaps doing some TV shows that we're talking with production teams about having commissioned in relation to sort of sex education, that sort of stuff. So I'd see that sort of as a long-term a thing more, particularly as I'm getting older, and maybe, you know, taking my clothes off for many more years is perhaps not something I want to be doing. But I am still with the Dream Boys, and I'm going to be touring with them, and I'm doing their shows every Saturday. I'm still doing bits of porn now and then, and then yeah, just the odd acting job. Maybe I'll do some more acting after this play and after the film as well. So we'll see, really. I just see what comes my way. And I did an interview out in the US a few weeks ago out in ABC. Again, there may be more opportunities to come from that, but I never expect anything. It's like when I went into the Big Brother house, I didn't expect anything to come out of it, but it's always good to see what comes along. Life is a bit of a roller coaster, and sometimes you can have a quiet period in life, and then sometimes the phone is off the hook. So we'll see.
Sell us the play. Why should we come and see it?
Why should you come and see the play? Well, first of all, it's a funny play. It's always good to have a giggle. That's the first reason. Another reason is because there is, well, as well as myself, and you may have heard of me, but you may have also have heard of Matt Evers, who is from Skating on Ice. He's also done a bit of TV presenting, so he's going to be in it, and he's probably a bit of an eye candy, whether you're a gay guy, whether you're a lady out there. So that's always good. I'll be taking off my clothes, so there you go. There's another good. And when I say taking off my clothes, I do mean everything. And also, it's very reasonably priced, just £15 for a ticket. I think that's a bit of a Billy bargain. So I'll see you there.
Well sold.
Thank you.